How often do you wake up feeling stressed, overwhelmed, or uncertain about the day ahead? Do you struggle to find peace and clarity, especially as you face the challenges of daily life? What if there was a simple, profound way to transform your mornings and set a powerful tone for the entire day? What if you could unlock the wisdom that has helped millions of people live with calm, purpose, and happiness, no matter the circumstances? Imagine starting every day with a mindset that brings peace instead of stress, joy instead of worry, and clarity instead of confusion. What if, just by changing how you approach the morning, you could change your whole life? Sounds impossible? It's not. The key to this transformation lies in the wisdom of Buddhism, a philosophy that's been guiding people toward true happiness for over 2,500 years. Let's take a simple example. Think of a morning where you wake up with a peaceful mind. You breathe deeply, focus on the present moment, and feel grateful for the chance to live another day. Your mind is clear, and you feel in control, even before your day begins. Now, doesn't that sound like a morning you'd want to have every day? Welcome to Wisdom Woven, a place where we explore life-changing insights that can help you unlock the peace and wisdom within yourself. If you're ready to change your mornings and your life, make sure to stick around. Trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming up next. There are so many views on this channel, but only 0.2% of people subscribe. So please, take a moment to like, comment, share, and subscribe to our channel. Also, drop down your thoughts in the comments below. Your feedback truly matters. Now, let's dive deep into the transformative power of Buddhist wisdom. It's time to awaken your mind and start living the life you deserve. The Four Noble Truths, understanding suffering and liberation. Life, it can be overwhelming, confusing, and challenging. We all face struggles, big and small. But have you ever wondered why we experience suffering? And more importantly, how can we escape it? These are questions that have been at the heart of human existence for thousands of years. The answers lie within the teachings of Buddhism, particularly the Four Noble Truths. Let's break it down together in the simplest way possible. The first of the Four Noble Truths is that life involves suffering, dukkha, as it's called in Buddhist teachings. Now, this doesn't mean that life is only suffering. It simply means that suffering is a natural part of life. Think about it for a moment. Have you ever felt anxious about something you couldn't control? Have you ever been upset when things didn't go your way? This is a part of human existence. It's part of being alive. Suffering can show up as physical pain, emotional distress, or dissatisfaction with how things are. The truth is, no one can avoid suffering, but what we can do is learn how to understand it and deal with it. The second truth is that suffering has a cause. The cause of suffering is attachment and desire. This is something we all deal with every day. We desire things, success, wealth, love, comfort, and when we don't get them, we suffer. We also suffer when we hold on to things, people, or ideas too tightly. Think about when you lose something precious, or when life changes in a way you didn't expect. It's that sense of attachment that brings pain. We become so focused on what we want that when things don't go as planned, we feel a deep sense of loss and frustration. And that frustration leads to suffering. But here's the incredible part. The third truth offers hope. It says that suffering can end. Yes, suffering isn't a permanent state. It can be overcome. We don't have to stay stuck in that cycle of desire and disappointment. Imagine a moment when you felt at peace, when you weren't striving for anything, when everything felt just right. That feeling can be a reality again. It's possible to let go of attachment and desire, to stop chasing things that ultimately don't bring true happiness. This is where the path to liberation begins. The promise of freedom from suffering is a gift that we all have the power to receive. So, how do we break free from this cycle of suffering? That brings us to the fourth and final truth, the path to the end of suffering, which is called the Eightfold Path. It's like a guidebook to living a more peaceful, fulfilled life. The Eightfold Path isn't just something you read about, it's something you practice. Every step you take on this path leads you closer to freedom and happiness. The Eightfold Path consists of 8 interconnected steps, which can be broken down into 3 essential categories: wisdom, ethical conduct, and mental discipline. These aren't separate ideas. They are part of one continuous journey toward peace. Right view is the first step. It's about understanding the nature of reality. you must realize that suffering is a part of life, and that the way we perceive the world often shapes our experience. This is the wisdom that opens your eyes to the truth. Once you see the world clearly, you can move forward with a deeper understanding. Next comes right intention, which is about your mindset. This is where your heart and mind align. You must focus on your intentions, ensuring they are pure and not driven by greed, hatred, or ignorance. Instead, the intention should be one of kindness, compassion, and wisdom. It's a commitment to being the best version of yourself. Right speech follows. It's all about what you say, how you say it, and why you say it. Words can build or destroy, create peace or stir conflict. Practicing right speech means avoiding lies, gossip, harsh words, and meaningless chatter. Speak with honesty, kindness, and purpose. Your words should uplift, not tear down. Then comes right action, what you do and how you act in the world. Right action means living in alignment with your values, practicing kindness, and doing good for others. It's about choosing actions that bring positive change, rather than harm. The way you treat people, animals, and the world around you matters. Right livelihood is about the work you do and the way you make your living. Are you working in a way that supports your values and benefits others? Right livelihood asks you to choose work that does not harm others and instead contributes to the well-being of everyone. It's about finding a job that resonates with your purpose and brings joy, not just income. Right effort involves your energy and motivation. It's about striving to do good and to cultivate positive qualities in your life. But it's not just about effort for the sake of effort. It's about applying the right kind of energy. This means letting go of negative habits and replacing them with habits that bring you closer to peace and happiness. Right mindfulness is one of the most powerful tools on this path. It's about being present in the moment, paying attention to your thoughts, feelings, and actions without judgment. When you practice mindfulness, you are fully aware of your experience, and you become less reactive to the challenges life throws your way. You start to understand the nature of your mind, and that awareness is transformative. Finally, right concentration is about cultivating a focused mind. It's about training your mind to be calm, centered, and clear. Through meditation and concentration practices, you learn to control the chaos of your thoughts and find a deep sense of peace. When your mind is still and concentrated, you can see things as they truly are, free from distraction. The Four Noble Truths and the Eightfold Path are the foundation of Buddhist teachings. They offer a way out of suffering and a guide to living a life of true peace and happiness. By understanding the nature of suffering, recognizing its causes, and following the path to liberation, you can transform your life. The journey may not always be easy, but it's worth it. The wisdom is already inside you. All it takes is the willingness to look within and to start the path toward freedom. So, what will it be? Will you continue to live in the cycle of suffering, or will you take the first step on the path to liberation? The choice is yours, and it starts with understanding the Four Noble Truths. Once you understand them, you are on your way to a life of greater peace, clarity, and happiness. So take a deep breath, and let's begin this journey together. The Eightfold Path, a practical guide to daily enlightenment. In the search for true peace and happiness, many feel lost, confused, or uncertain about where to begin. Life can often feel like an endless journey with no clear direction. But what if there was a path that could guide you, not just to temporary moments of calm, but to lasting, deep enlightenment? A path that could help you experience true joy, compassion, and wisdom. No matter what life throws your way, that path exists. It's called the Eightfold Path, a central teaching in Buddhism that leads us to freedom from suffering and guides us to living a life of meaning and purpose. The Eightfold Path is not a faraway, abstract concept. It's a set of principles that can be applied in your everyday life. It is a practical guide to living in a way that brings about peace and wisdom, and it all starts with a simple shift in how we approach the world. So, how do we walk this path? Step by step? Right understanding. The first step on the Eightfold Path is right understanding. This means seeing things as they truly are. It's about understanding the nature of life, recognizing that suffering is a natural part of our existence, that change is constant, and that nothing lasts forever. We often find ourselves caught up in illusions, expecting things to stay the same, clinging to attachments, and suffering because of it. By gaining the right understanding, we free ourselves from these false beliefs. We begin to see the world clearly, without distortion, and accept it as it is. Only then can we truly move forward. Right intention. The second step is right intention. This involves setting the right intentions in our hearts and minds. It's not enough just to act in a good way. We must also cultivate pure intentions behind our actions. Right intention calls us to let go of harmful desires and thoughts, and to focus on intentions rooted in compassion, love, and kindness. It's about being mindful of what drives us and making sure that what motivates us is rooted in wisdom, not in selfishness or attachment. Right speech. The third step, right speech, reminds us of the power our words have. Words can either build up or tear down. When we speak, we have a responsibility to be truthful, kind, and mindful of how our words affect others. Right speech means avoiding lies, gossip, harsh words, and hurtful speech. Instead, we speak in a way that fosters peace, understanding, and compassion. Our words should align with our values and intentions, creating harmony around us, not conflict. Right action. Right action is about how we behave in the world, how we interact with others, and how we live our lives. It involves acting ethically, with compassion and wisdom. Right action means refraining from harming others, whether through physical actions or harmful behaviors. It's about making choices that contribute to the well-being of others and ourselves. It's also about being mindful of the consequences of our actions and choosing to act in ways that bring peace and positivity to the world. Right livelihood. Right livelihood calls us to earn our living in a way that is ethical and respectful to others. This means avoiding jobs or professions that cause harm to others, directly or indirectly. Whether we're working in business, healthcare, education, or any other field, we should seek ways to engage in work that is aligned with our values of kindness and compassion. Right livelihood is about contributing positively to society, not just for personal gain, but for the benefit of all beings. Right effort. The sixth step, right effort, teaches us the importance of persistence and discipline in our practice. Right effort means consistently working to improve ourselves, to cultivate good qualities like kindness, patience, and wisdom, while letting go of harmful thoughts, actions, and habits. This effort is not about force or struggle. It's about gentle, persistent effort to bring our mind and heart in alignment with our highest values. It's about cultivating a life of balance, where we put in the effort without becoming frustrated or overwhelmed. Right mindfulness. Right mindfulness is about being fully present in each moment. It's easy to get lost in our thoughts, constantly thinking about the past or worrying about the future. Right mindfulness calls us to bring our attention back to the present, to observe our thoughts, feelings, and sensations without judgment or attachment. It means being aware of our bodies, our emotions, and the world around us, without distraction. When we practice right mindfulness, we create a space for clarity and insight to emerge. We stop reacting mindlessly to life and instead respond with wisdom and understanding. Right concentration. The final step on the Eightfold Path is right concentration. This is the practice of developing a focused and clear mind through meditation. Right concentration is about training the mind to focus on one thing at a time, blocking out distractions, and cultivating deep states of meditation. With consistent practice, we begin to experience a sense of inner peace and tranquility, as well as greater clarity and insight into the true nature of things. Right concentration allows us to develop mental strength and stability, which supports all the other aspects of the Eightfold Path. Walking the Eightfold Path is not about achieving perfection, it's about progress. We don't need to master everything overnight. It's a lifelong journey. But as we walk this path with patience, mindfulness, and persistence, we begin to experience a deeper sense of peace, purpose, and joy. So, why not start today? The Eightfold Path is not a distant goal, but a way of living right now. Begin with small steps. Practice right understanding by reflecting on your life, right intention by aligning your goals with compassion, and right speech by speaking more kindly. You'll notice the difference almost immediately. Isn't it amazing that something so simple could be so powerful? This path has the potential to transform your life, and it's available to you at every moment. You don't have to be a monk or a guru to walk it. You just need the willingness to take the first step and keep moving forward. With each step, you'll feel lighter, more at peace, and more aligned with your true self. The Eightfold Path is the way of wisdom. Are you ready to walk it? The power of mindfulness, living fully in the present. Do you ever find yourself lost in thoughts about the past or worrying about the future, while the present moment slips by unnoticed? Are you often distracted, overwhelmed, or caught up in the chaos of life, missing out on the beauty of the here and now? Imagine, just for a moment, living fully in the present, completely aware of each moment, each breath, each sensation, without any distractions or judgments. How much more peaceful, focused, and content would your life be if you could truly be in the present? This is the essence of mindfulness, a practice at the heart of Buddhism that teaches us to live fully in each moment without getting lost in the noise of the past or future. Mindfulness is not just about sitting in silence for a few minutes or practicing meditation. It's about being awake, aware, and present in everything you do. It's about making each moment count and finding joy in the simple, everyday things we often overlook. It's about being mindful in your actions, your thoughts, and your interactions with the world. But how do you start? How can you bring mindfulness into your daily life? It begins with the most fundamental step, awareness. The next time you're walking, stop for a moment and truly pay attention to the sensation of your feet touching the ground. Notice the rhythm of your steps, the sound of your breathing, the feel of the air around you. Simple, right? And yet, most of us are too busy rushing through our day to pay attention to the wonders of simply walking. Mindfulness also helps you pay attention to your thoughts. Notice how often your mind jumps from one thought to the next, without you even realizing it. We spend so much time thinking about the past or planning for the future that we forget to live in the present. But when we learn to slow down and observe our thoughts without judgment, we can begin to see things more clearly. We can separate our thoughts from who we are, recognizing that just because we think something doesn't mean it's true or that we have to act on it. This kind of awareness is liberating. It helps you take control of your mind, rather than letting your mind control you. In daily life, mindfulness is about being fully present in whatever task you're doing. Whether you're eating, talking to someone, working, or even doing something as simple as washing the dishes, do it with full awareness. Focus on the sensation of the water on your hands, the sounds of the world around you, the taste of your food, or the details of the conversation you're having. By bringing your full attention to the present, you not only find peace, but you also find a deeper connection with the world around you. Life becomes richer, more meaningful, and more vibrant. One of the simplest ways to practice mindfulness is through breathing. Pay attention to your breath. Feel it enter and leave your body. With each inhale, notice how the air fills your lungs. With each exhale, feel the release, the letting go. This simple act of breathing can ground you in the present moment, especially when life feels overwhelming. By focusing on your breath, you allow yourself to be here, now, without the weight of yesterday or the pressure of tomorrow. It's a powerful way to center yourself and cultivate calm. Mindfulness also helps you build resilience. Life can be challenging, and when we face difficulties, it's easy to get swept away by negative thoughts, stress, or anxiety. But with mindfulness, we can train ourselves to respond to challenges with clarity and calm, rather than reacting impulsively or getting overwhelmed. When we practice mindfulness, we become less attached to our emotions. We begin to see that our feelings, just like our thoughts, are temporary. They come and go. And when we accept this, we stop letting our emotions control us. Mindfulness encourages self-compassion as well. Often, we're our own harshest critics, constantly judging ourselves for mistakes, imperfections, or failures. But when we practice mindfulness, we begin to approach ourselves with kindness and understanding. We recognize that we're all human, and it's okay to make mistakes. In fact, it's part of being alive. Instead of berating yourself for shortcomings, mindfulness allows you to gently guide yourself back to the present, to recognize that you are doing the best you can in each moment. And it's not just about personal growth. Mindfulness transforms how you relate to others. When you're truly present with someone, when you listen with your full attention, you build deeper connections. You stop thinking about your response while the other person is speaking. You hear them, see them, understand them. Mindfulness enhances communication, making your relationships more authentic, more compassionate, and more meaningful. At its core, mindfulness is about freedom. It frees you from the constant distractions of the mind, from the anxiety of the past and future, and from the endless cycle of stress and worry. It helps you live with intention, choosing your actions based on awareness rather than habit or impulse. It helps you let go of the need for control and trust that each moment, each experience, is exactly as it should be. It allows you to be at peace with yourself and the world around you. But what does mindfulness really offer in the long term? What happens when you truly commit to living mindfully every day? You begin to experience life in a way that is more vivid, more full of joy, and more centered in peace. Your days become less about rushing to the next task or worrying about what's to come. Instead, you're fully immersed in the experience of living, savoring each moment, and responding with clarity rather than reacting out of habit. And when you start your mornings with mindfulness, it sets the tone for the entire day. Rather than waking up groggy, stressed, or overwhelmed, you wake up with intention. You wake up with purpose. You wake up ready to embrace the present moment, no matter what challenges lie ahead. It's a powerful shift that can change not only your mornings, but also your entire life. So, are you ready to take that first step toward mindfulness? Are you willing to slow down, to breathe, to fully experience each moment? It's not always easy. Our minds are busy, and life moves fast. But remember, mindfulness is a practice. The more you do it, the more natural it becomes. And with each practice, you bring more peace and joy into your life, one mindful breath at a time. Let mindfulness be your guide. Let it help you live in the present, free from the burdens of the past and the future. Let it lead you to a life of clarity, calm, and connection. It's time to wake up to the beauty of each moment. It's time to be fully alive, right here, right now. Meditation, the key to inner peace and clarity. Have you ever felt like your mind is running 1,000 miles per hour? Thoughts swirling, emotions tugging at your heart, and a constant feeling of restlessness? It's as if you're never truly at peace, always caught in the chaos of your own mind. But what if there was a way to slow down, to find calm in the middle of the storm? What if there was a tool you could use that, when practiced regularly, could give you the clarity and tranquility you crave? That tool is meditation. Meditation is not just for monks or yogis. It's for everyone. Whether you're a busy parent, a student, or someone working in a fast-paced job, meditation is something you can incorporate into your daily life. It's a simple practice, but the results are profound. Meditation is a way to center yourself, calm your mind, and become more present. But how does it work, and why is it so powerful? At its core, meditation is about creating space between your thoughts. When we're constantly thinking, planning, worrying, or rehashing past events, it's easy to feel overwhelmed and exhausted. Our minds become cluttered, and this clutter blocks our ability to see clearly. But when we meditate, we take a step back from that constant stream of thought. We simply observe our thoughts, without judgment, without attachment. We create a little gap in the chaos, and in that gap, we find stillness. In Buddhism, meditation is called dhyana, which means concentration or absorption. The goal is to cultivate a deep sense of mindfulness, a heightened awareness of the present moment. When we meditate, we begin to notice our thoughts and emotions as they arise, but instead of getting caught up in them, we simply acknowledge them and let them go. It's like watching the clouds pass by in the sky. You don't try to control them, you don't try to stop them, you just observe. In that moment of observation, you create peace. Now, you might be wondering, but how do I start? How do I silence my mind? The truth is, meditation isn't about silencing your mind completely. It's about learning to be with your thoughts without becoming overwhelmed by them. Start small. Find a quiet space where you won't be disturbed. Sit comfortably, either on a chair, cushion, or the floor. Close your eyes, take a deep breath, and focus on your breath. That's it. Your only job is to notice the sensation of the breath coming in and going out. At first, it might feel difficult. Your mind will wander. You'll start thinking about your to-do list, your worries, or the tasks ahead. But that's okay. The key is not to get frustrated. When your mind wanders, gently guide it back to your breath. Each time you bring your attention back to your breath, you're building the muscle of mindfulness. And over time, this muscle gets stronger. The more you practice, the easier it becomes to stay present and calm in any situation. One of the most powerful aspects of meditation is its ability to help us cultivate compassion. As you sit quietly, you begin to tune in to your inner world. You start to notice the subtle emotions and thoughts that often go unnoticed in the hustle and bustle of daily life. And when you observe these emotions with kindness, without judgment, you naturally begin to extend that same compassion to others. You start to see people not just as others, but as fellow beings who, just like you, experience joy, sorrow, and everything in between. Meditation also teaches us to embrace impermanence. In the practice, we come to realize that our thoughts, feelings, and sensations are constantly changing. One moment, you might feel peaceful and calm. The next, you might feel anxious or restless. But, in meditation, you learn to accept that change is natural. Nothing lasts forever, not even your thoughts. This realization helps you to detach from your emotions and create space between you and the storms inside your mind. So, what benefits can you expect from a regular meditation practice? For one, you'll notice a decrease in stress and anxiety. When you meditate, you're training your body and mind to enter a state of relaxation. This deep relaxation helps lower your heart rate, reduce cortisol, the stress hormone, and calm your nervous system. Over time, you'll find that you're able to handle stress much more effectively without getting overwhelmed or burned out. Meditation also sharpens your focus and concentration. When you meditate, you're practicing the art of attention. You're teaching your mind to focus on one thing at a time. Whether it's your breath, a mantra, or simply being aware of the present moment. This focus carries over into your everyday life. You'll find that you're more productive, more present with your loved ones, and more able to enjoy the little moments without distraction. And, perhaps most importantly, meditation helps you connect with your true self. In the stillness of meditation, you begin to peel away the layers of external influence, society's expectations, other people's opinions, your own self-doubt. You start to discover who you really are, beneath all the noise. You come to understand your deeper values, desires, and passions. Meditation is a journey of self-discovery, and it's one that can lead you to a life of greater fulfillment and joy. But here's the secret. Meditation doesn't have to take hours every day. Even just 10 to 15 minutes a day can make a huge difference. The key is consistency. It's better to meditate for a few minutes every day than to do one long session once a week. Start small and build your practice over time. You might even try different forms of meditation, like guided meditation, mantra meditation, or loving-kindness meditation, to see what resonates with you. Meditation isn't always easy, but it's incredibly rewarding. As you commit to this practice, you'll start to notice subtle changes in your life. You'll begin to feel more grounded, more centered, and more at peace. Your reactions to life's challenges will shift. Instead of reacting out of anger, fear, or frustration, you'll respond with clarity, patience, and wisdom. And in that space of clarity, you'll find the true freedom that comes with letting go. The beauty of meditation is that it's always available to you. No matter where you are or what's happening in your life, you can always return to your breath. You can always find a moment of stillness, even in the midst of chaos. And in that moment, you'll find peace. So why wait? Start today. Set aside a few minutes each morning to meditate. See how it transforms your mind, your emotions, and your life. Meditation isn't just a practice, it's a way of being. It's a way of living with intention, mindfulness, and a deep sense of peace. And when you carry that peace with you throughout the day, you'll find that your life becomes much more manageable, much more enjoyable, and much more meaningful. It's all within your reach, just a breath away. Karma and cause and effect, shaping your own destiny. Do you ever wonder why certain things happen in your life? Why some days seem filled with joy and success, while others bring challenge and suffering? What if you knew that the events in your life aren't just random, that everything is connected by a powerful force? What if you could take control of that force and start shaping your own destiny? Well, that's exactly what the Buddhist principle of karma teaches us. Karma is often misunderstood. People think it's some form of cosmic punishment or reward, but it's much deeper and more empowering than that. In its simplest form, Karma is the law of cause and effect. Every action you take, whether it's a thought, a word, or a deed, creates an energy that ripples through the universe. This energy will return to you in one way or another, shaping the events of your life. Imagine this. You wake up in the morning feeling grateful for the things you have, and throughout the day, you radiate kindness, patience, and understanding. You help others, smile more, and approach challenges with an open heart. What do you think will happen next? The energy you put into the world will return to you. It might not be immediate, but over time, you'll start to notice how your life begins to change. People will treat you with more kindness. Opportunities will appear. Your mindset will shift, and challenges will seem easier to overcome. This is the power of positive karma at work. On the other hand, if you wake up with frustration, resentment, or anger, you'll unknowingly send negative energy into the world. These negative thoughts and actions won't just affect the people around you. They will affect your own life as well. You might find yourself stuck in a cycle of bad luck, facing more obstacles than you'd like, and feeling disconnected from peace and happiness. That's because the energy you put out is the energy you get back. But here's the good news. You have complete control over your karma. Yes, you might not be able to control every situation or every person around you, but you have the power to control your responses. You can choose to act with love, compassion, and understanding, no matter the circumstances. Every time you choose a positive action, thought, or word, you are creating good karma that will come back to you in the future. Think about the power of forgiveness. When you forgive someone, you're not just letting them off the hook. You're freeing yourself from the negative energy that holds you back. That act of forgiveness sends out a wave of peace, and before you know it, you'll start to feel lighter, more peaceful, and more in control of your life. This is karma at its best. But karma isn't just about big actions. It's also about small, everyday choices. What if, every morning, you chose to set an intention for your day? You could decide to focus on kindness, gratitude, and patience, even when things aren't going your way. By setting this intention, you are already sending out positive energy that will return to you. And it's not just about how you treat others. The way you treat yourself matters just as much. Be kind to yourself. Speak to yourself with love and respect. This is an essential part of cultivating good karma. In Buddhism, we also learn about the concept of threefold karma: our thoughts, speech, and actions. If any one of these three is out of balance, it affects the other two and creates negative karma. Think about this. When your thoughts are clouded with negativity, your words might become harsh, and your actions could be impulsive or harmful. But when you clear your mind and focus on positive thoughts, your words will become more gentle and your actions will be more aligned with your highest self. This balance is the key to living a life of harmony and peace. Now, you may wonder, what if you've already accumulated negative karma? Don't worry. Karma isn't permanent. It's not like a sentence that you're stuck with for life. In fact, Buddhism teaches us that karma can be transformed through right intention and right action. If you've made mistakes, you can begin by acknowledging them, learning from them, and making a conscious effort to do better. By doing so, you are already creating the conditions for positive karma to emerge. Another important aspect of karma is understanding that it's not always immediate. You might do something kind today and not see the results right away. Similarly, you might face challenges or setbacks that don't seem to make sense. But remember, karma works in mysterious ways. It can take time for the effects of your actions to unfold. Just because you don't see the rewards right away doesn't mean they aren't coming. The seeds you plant today will eventually bear fruit. Think about how this applies to your work, your relationships, and even your personal goals. Every decision you make, every action you take, is part of the bigger picture of your life. If you consistently put in the effort, if you stay kind, honest, and patient, you are aligning yourself with the flow of positive karma. In time, your life will reflect the energy you've been sending out. You might also be wondering, what if bad things happen to good people? It's a question that many of us ask when faced with suffering. The answer lies in understanding that karma doesn't always manifest in ways we expect. Sometimes, the challenges we face are lessons, opportunities for growth, or consequences of actions in past lives. It might seem unfair, but in Buddhism, suffering is seen as an opportunity for transformation. By using these challenges as a way to develop wisdom, compassion, and resilience, you are shaping your karma in a way that will lead to deeper peace and understanding. So, what can you do today to begin shaping your own karma? Start small. Begin by choosing to think positively, speak kindly, and act with intention. Notice how the world begins to respond to you. And when things don't go your way, remember, it's not the end. It's simply another opportunity to practice patience, forgiveness, and kindness. Karma is the ultimate reminder that we are not victims of circumstance. We are powerful creators of our own destiny. Everything you do today matters. Every thought, every word, every action creates a ripple in the world that will come back to you. So, what kind of karma are you creating? Are you ready to take control of your destiny? The choice is yours. Impermanence, embracing change without fear. Life is a constant wave of change, isn't it? One moment, everything feels stable, and the next, things are shifting. The people you love, the things you cherish, the circumstances you find comfort in, everything changes. But what if I told you that understanding this natural ebb and flow could lead to a life of greater peace, freedom, and understanding? Wouldn't you want to embrace change rather than fear it? In Buddhism, one of the core teachings is the concept of impermanence, anicca. It teaches us that everything in the world is in a constant state of flux. There is no such thing as a permanent state of being. Every moment is fleeting. The flowers that bloom today will wither tomorrow. The joy you feel now will one day fade. The sadness you experience will eventually pass. Even your own body, your thoughts, and your emotions are constantly changing. But here's the truth. This doesn't have to be a scary thought. In fact, it can bring a deep sense of freedom. When we become attached to something, whether it's a person, a material possession, or a particular outcome, we cling to the idea that it should stay the same forever. But we know deep down that nothing lasts forever. And so, when change comes, it shakes us. We feel sadness, loss, fear, and sometimes even anger. But, my friends, this is not the way to live. The key to peace lies in accepting impermanence, not resisting it. Imagine for a moment, what would happen if we accepted that everything changes, that nothing stays the same? If you could wake up each day understanding that what you hold in your hands today may not be there tomorrow, would you still hold on to it so tightly? Would you still fear the future or the changes to come? The answer is no. Because once you accept that everything is temporary, you begin to live with an open heart, free from the chains of fear and attachment. Take a deep breath right now. Can you feel it? That very breath is impermanent. It won't last forever. But that's what makes it precious. The fact that it's here, now, and will soon pass, makes each breath a reminder to live fully in the present. So, why not live each day as though it is just as fleeting? Why not cherish what you have, while understanding that it will eventually change or fade? When we accept change, we no longer waste our energy trying to control it. Instead, we flow with it. Consider the seasons of the year. One day, it's warm and sunny, and you're out enjoying the sun. The next day, the rain pours down, and the weather shifts. Do you resist the rain, wishing it were still sunny? Of course not. You accept it because you know that the sun will shine again. Just like the seasons, life too has its seasons. The good times will pass, but so will the hard times. And in this acceptance, you find peace. Now, think about the people in your life. Maybe someone you love is no longer with you. Perhaps they've moved away, changed, or, sadly, passed on. It's natural to mourn these changes, but also understand that each person who enters your life does so for a season. They bring lessons, love, and experiences that shape you. When we understand that relationships are also impermanent, we begin to appreciate them more fully while they are here. We stop clinging to the idea of a perfect, unchanging relationship, and instead, we cherish each moment we have together. Does this mean you should give up on trying to make the best of your life, or stop investing in your relationships? Absolutely not. It simply means that by accepting the changing nature of life, you can live with less fear, less anxiety, and more appreciation for what's here and now. By not clinging to the past or fearing the future, you become more present in the moment. You become more alive. In Buddhism, there is a teaching called the 5 remembrances, and one of them is, I am of the nature to grow old, I am of the nature to get sick. I am of the nature to die. It's a reminder that we are all part of this natural cycle of life, change, and decay. While these words may sound a little harsh at first, there's actually great wisdom in them. When you accept that life will change, that things will fade, and that you, too, will change, you begin to live more fully in each moment. You become less attached to the idea that things should stay the same, and more focused on making the most of what you have right now. So, what happens when we resist impermanence? We create suffering. When we cling too tightly to something, we suffer when it inevitably changes or disappears. The secret is in the letting go. Not in letting go of the things you love or the people you care about, but in letting go of the idea that they are permanent and learning to appreciate them fully while they are here. When we stop expecting life to stay the same, we start to see the beauty in its fluidity, its ever-changing nature. Let's take a moment to think about the simple concept of letting go. Letting go doesn't mean giving up. It doesn't mean you stop caring. In fact, it often means the opposite. It means you can love and appreciate something so deeply that you don't need to hold on to it forever. You can enjoy the sunshine, knowing that clouds will come. You can treasure the moments with your loved ones, understanding that they are not permanent. And in doing so, you are able to embrace life more fully, knowing that nothing, absolutely nothing, lasts forever. Embracing impermanence is not about resignation or sadness. It's about freedom, the freedom to enjoy life as it is, without fear of losing it. It's about embracing change, not as something to fear, but as something to experience with an open heart and mind. In your own life, think about the changes you are going through right now. Are there things you are clinging to? People, possessions, ideas about how things should be? What if you could let go of the expectation that everything should stay the same, and instead, embrace the beautiful, unpredictable flow of life? Would you feel lighter? More at peace? The teachings of impermanence remind us that we don't need to hold on so tightly to the past or the future. We just need to be here, right now, in the present. Because the present is all we really have. Life is constantly changing, and that's a beautiful thing. It's in that change that we find growth, understanding, and transformation. So let go of the fear. Embrace the change, and in doing so, you will find peace. Remember, the impermanent nature of life is not something to resist. It is a precious gift that allows us to experience the fullness of each moment, knowing that it will pass. And when we truly understand this, we can live with more love, more appreciation, and more joy. So, let go of the fear of change, and begin to embrace the beauty in its impermanence. Life is waiting for you to live it fully. Compassion and loving kindness, the heart of true wisdom. What if the key to happiness wasn't found in achieving success or accumulating things? What if it was simply found in how you treat others, and most importantly, how you treat yourself? What if the power to change your world lies in one simple thing? Compassion. Could it really be that simple? Compassion isn't just a nice feeling we have when someone is suffering. It's the deep, unconditional understanding of others' pain, paired with a sincere desire to alleviate that suffering. It's the heart that connects all living beings. It's the power to look beyond differences, to recognize that we are all connected, and to act with kindness even when the world doesn't ask for it. Imagine for a moment if you woke up each day with the intention to be compassionate. How would that change your interactions with others? How would it change your relationships, your mindset, and even your perspective on life itself? You see, when we practice compassion, we're not just changing the lives of others. We're changing our own lives, too. Compassion has the power to heal us from the inside out. It can transform our anger, our frustration, and even our sadness into something pure and beautiful. In Buddhism, compassion isn't just an ideal. It's a practice. It's something we actively cultivate in our lives. And it starts with loving kindness, the practice of loving yourself and others with a pure heart. But what does that really mean? Loving kindness is the act of wishing happiness and peace for others without expecting anything in return. It's not about giving out of obligation or expecting gratitude. It's about offering your love freely as a gift. And this gift has the power to change everything. Start by turning this love inward. How often do you show yourself compassion? How many times do you forgive yourself for mistakes or offer yourself encouragement in times of struggle. Loving kindness begins with yourself, and when you practice this, it becomes easier to extend it to others. When you treat yourself with compassion, you are better able to treat others with compassion. It's a cycle that builds upon itself, and it grows stronger the more we practice it. Now, take a moment to think about those around you. Who in your life could benefit from your compassion? Maybe it's a friend who's going through a tough time, or a colleague who seems stressed. Maybe it's a stranger you encounter in passing. Often, we don't know what others are going through, but a small act of kindness can make all the difference. Compassion doesn't always have to be a grand gesture. It can be as simple as a smile, a word of encouragement, or just listening when someone needs to talk. It can be giving someone your time, even when you feel busy. It can be as small as holding the door open for someone, or offering a helping hand without expecting anything in return. These small acts are powerful because they create a ripple effect. When someone receives kindness, they are more likely to pass it on. And so, the cycle of compassion continues. But what about when we're angry or upset? It's easy to show compassion when everything is going smoothly, but what about in moments of conflict or frustration? This is where Buddhist wisdom truly shines. Buddhism teaches us that anger is just another form of suffering. It clouds our judgment, it hurts our relationships, and it causes us to act in ways that we later regret. But in those moments of anger, we have a choice. We can choose to respond with compassion instead of reacting with negativity. And that choice can completely change the course of our lives. Take a deep breath next time you feel anger rising. Instead of lashing out or holding on to resentment, try to understand the root of the anger. Is it fear, hurt, misunderstanding? When you understand the cause of your emotions, it becomes easier to show compassion, both to yourself and to others. Compassion doesn't mean allowing people to walk all over you or tolerating behavior that's harmful. It simply means choosing to respond with understanding, instead of reacting from a place of hurt or frustration. And what about people who hurt us, intentionally or not? How do we show compassion to those who wrong us? This is one of the most challenging parts of practicing loving kindness, but it's also one of the most transformative. Buddhism teaches that those who hurt others are often suffering in their own way. Perhaps they are acting out of pain or fear. By offering compassion to those who hurt us, we are not excusing their actions, but we are recognizing that their suffering is just as real as our own. We are choosing to rise above the negativity, to heal our hearts, and to release ourselves from the hold that anger and resentment can have over us. So, how do we practice compassion in our daily lives? Start small. Start with the simple act of being present. When you listen to someone, listen with your full attention. When you speak to someone, speak with kindness. When you act with the intention of easing suffering, not causing it. And most importantly, don't forget to show yourself compassion, too. You are just as worthy of love and understanding as anyone else. The beauty of compassion is that it's limitless. There is always room to practice it more. Every moment is an opportunity to offer kindness, to extend love, and to create peace. When you choose compassion, you choose a path that leads to happiness, not just for yourself, but for the world around you. It's a path that will transform the way you see yourself, the way you see others, and the way you move through the world. The heart of Buddhist wisdom is love, and the practice of loving kindness is the foundation of that love. It's the key to true happiness and inner peace. Compassion is not just something we do for others, it's something that heals us from the inside. So, why not start today? Why not start right now and bring more compassion into your life? The world needs it, and you need it too. Compassion is the heart of true wisdom, and when you practice it, you unlock the most powerful force for good that there is. The middle way, balancing spiritual growth and daily life. Life is a constant balancing act. We often find ourselves stuck between extremes: too much work, too little rest, too much pleasure, too much discipline, too little focus, too much stress. These extremes can make us feel torn, confused, and disconnected. But what if there was a way to find harmony? A path that allowed us to grow spiritually without losing touch with the realities of everyday life? The answer lies in the middle way, a core principle of Buddhism that teaches us how to live a balanced life. So, what is the middle way? It's the path of moderation, the way of avoiding the extremes of self-indulgence and self-mortification. It's about finding a sweet spot where we can nurture our body, mind, and spirit while still engaging with the world around us. You don't have to give up everything to grow spiritually, nor do you have to immerse yourself in endless distractions to enjoy life. The middle way shows us how to walk the path with peace and purpose, where we can thrive without burning out, where we can grow without feeling lost. Consider this simple question. How often do you push yourself to the point of exhaustion in the name of success? Or how often do you indulge in pleasures that momentarily make you happy but ultimately leave you feeling empty? Both extremes might seem tempting, but they often lead to dissatisfaction. The middle way teaches us to find balance, to seek joy in both our spiritual growth and our day-to-day lives. It's about being mindful of how we treat ourselves and others, embracing both our work and our rest with full awareness. To live the middle way means practicing mindfulness in all aspects of life. Whether it's working, eating, resting, or spending time with loved ones, it's about being fully present in whatever you're doing, without letting your mind wander to the next task, worry, or desire. By doing so, we create a life that flows smoothly and harmoniously, where we can meet challenges with clarity, gratitude, and peace. This is not an abstract ideal. It's a way of living that is accessible to all of us, no matter our circumstances. The middle way also invites us to be kind to ourselves. Often, we are our own harshest critics, pushing ourselves too hard or feeling guilty for not doing enough. But in the middle way, we understand that growth is a gradual process. We learn to embrace where we are, while gently guiding ourselves forward. This is not about perfection. It's about progress, about making small, consistent steps toward a more peaceful, centered life. When we live the middle way, we start to experience life as a series of moments, not tasks to be completed. Each moment becomes a chance to practice presence, to listen to our thoughts, to connect with our feelings, and to engage with the world around us with clarity and compassion. Whether we're working, eating, or simply walking down the street, we can live with intention, creating meaning and connection in the simplest of activities. Let's take a deeper look at how the middle way applies to our daily routines. Imagine you have a busy day ahead. You could get caught up in rushing through everything, focusing only on the end results. But what if instead, you slowed down and found balance? Instead of pushing yourself to the limit, take breaks, breathe deeply, and notice the little things around you. The sound of birds outside, the warmth of the sun, the taste of your food. These moments, though small, bring us back to the present, reminding us that we don't have to hurry to be happy. In our relationships too, the middle way can bring about a deeper connection. Often, we swing between being overly demanding or overly passive with others. In the middle way, we learn to find a middle ground, where we can be supportive without being controlling, loving without being overbearing. We understand that true love is not about expectations but about being present, compassionate, and mindful of the needs of both ourselves and others. The middle way also teaches us to embrace simplicity. In today's world, we are constantly bombarded with distractions, desires, and excess. We can easily fall into the trap of thinking that more is better. More possessions, more achievements, more excitement. But the middle way invites us to simplify. It reminds us that true happiness doesn't come from the accumulation of things or experiences, but from the quiet, peaceful moments of simply being alive. Consider the way we eat. Often, we either overeat out of stress or undereat out of guilt. The middle way guides us to eat with mindfulness, aware of the nourishment our body needs, the flavors on our tongue, and the feelings we experience as we eat. By doing so, we honor our body without overindulging or depriving ourselves. This is just one example of how the middle way can transform our everyday actions into meaningful, mindful practices. It's also important to note that the middle way is not a destination. It's a journey. It's a way of living that requires patience and self-compassion. You won't find perfect balance overnight, but with practice, you will begin to notice small shifts. You'll notice when you're falling into extremes and be able to gently guide yourself back to the center. The key is awareness, being mindful of where you are, how you're feeling, and what you need in each moment. In Buddhism, the middle way is often associated with the path to enlightenment. It's the way that avoids the extremes of asceticism and indulgence, guiding us to find peace, wisdom, and compassion in all aspects of our lives. Whether we are meditating, working, or simply breathing, the middle way teaches us to live with balance and intention. It shows us that we don't need to sacrifice our daily life for spiritual growth. Instead, we can integrate our practice into every moment. So, what does the middle way look like in your life? It's different for everyone, but one thing is certain. When we live with balance, we experience more peace, joy, and fulfillment. It's not about achieving perfection. It's about learning to navigate life with mindfulness, kindness, and patience. When we walk the path of the middle way, we create a life that flows harmoniously, where both our spiritual growth and our daily life are in sync. The beauty of the middle way is that it is not something separate from our everyday experiences. It's not about escaping the challenges of life, but learning to live with them, with grace and wisdom. Whether we're working on a project, having a conversation, or simply sitting in silence, we can practice the middle way by staying present and mindful of the balance between our actions, thoughts, and feelings. The middle way also encourages us to see the impermanence of everything. We understand that everything in life, good or bad, is temporary. This helps us stay grounded, not too attached to success or failure, but simply accepting each moment as it comes. By doing so, we stop clinging to things and start living with a deep sense of peace, knowing that we are exactly where we need to be. As you continue your journey, remember that the middle way is a path of balance, patience, and presence. It's not about seeking more but learning to appreciate what is already here. By practicing the middle way, you open yourself to a life filled with peace, wisdom, and love. Each step you take toward balance brings you closer to the person you are meant to be. Live the middle way and discover the harmony within yourself and the world around you. Final reflections: becoming the master of your mind. As we reach the end of our journey together, let's take a deep breath and pause. How far have you come in understanding the simple yet profound teachings we've explored? Have you begun to see how even the smallest shifts in your thinking, your daily routine, and your awareness can completely transform the way you live, the way you feel, and the way you experience life itself? We've walked through the wisdom of Buddhism in these past sessions. We've seen how the Four Noble Truths show us that suffering is part of life, but also that we have the power to end that suffering. We've seen how the Eightfold Path is a guide for living with purpose and clarity. We've learned that mindfulness can help us live fully in the present, without getting lost in the past or future. We've even learned about meditation, karma, and the importance of compassion. And now, we stand at the final step, where all these teachings come together. So, what does it mean to truly become the master of your own mind? It means understanding that your mind is like a garden. It can either be filled with weeds, negative thoughts, anger, fear, and doubt, or it can be filled with beautiful flowers, peace, love, joy, and wisdom. The choice is yours. Every thought you entertain, every emotion you hold on to, every reaction you have, these are like seeds you are planting in the garden of your mind. And just as a garden grows over time, so too do your thoughts and feelings. Being the master of your mind means having the awareness to notice the weeds when they start to grow. It means not letting them take root and spread. Instead, you gently remove them and replace them with thoughts that bring peace and clarity. It means learning to sit with your emotions without letting them control you. It means accepting them, understanding them, and then letting them pass without attachment. Just like the weather changes, so too do our emotions. And just like the weather, they do not last forever. In this final step, we also learn the importance of detachment, not detaching from people or the world around us, but detaching from the need to control everything. We don't need to control what others think of us, or how the world reacts to us. The only thing we can control is our own mind, our own reactions. And this is where true freedom lies. The less we cling to outcomes, to expectations, to attachments, the more freedom we have to simply be. Can you see how this approach can free you from stress and worry? Think about it. When you let go of the need to control, you open yourself to living fully in each moment. You no longer waste time and energy worrying about things you cannot change. Instead, you embrace life as it is, in all its imperfections, knowing that everything is part of the greater flow of life. But becoming the master of your mind doesn't happen overnight. It's a practice. Every day, you have to show up, pay attention, and choose wisely. It's like learning to play an instrument or learning to ride a bike. At first, it may seem difficult, and you might fall or get frustrated. But with practice, it becomes second nature. And as you continue to practice mindfulness, meditation, and awareness, you'll find that you start to live with more clarity, peace, and happiness. You'll also start to notice something amazing happening in your life. You'll begin to attract more of what you focus on. If you focus on peace, you'll find more peaceful moments. If you focus on gratitude, you'll see more things to be grateful for. If you focus on love, you'll experience more love. This is the law of attraction in action. What you give your attention to grows. And when you master your mind, you'll begin to shape your reality in ways you never thought possible. In the end, the greatest lesson Buddhism teaches us is that happiness isn't something that comes from outside of us. It's something that arises from within. We don't need to chase happiness. We need to cultivate it within ourselves. And the more we practice the teachings of mindfulness, meditation, and compassion, the more we unlock our own inner peace. So, what does it take to truly become the master of your mind? It takes awareness. It takes practice. It takes patience. And most of all, it takes love. Love for yourself, love for others, and love for the world around you. When you approach life with this kind of love and mindfulness, you can transform every single moment into an opportunity for growth, for peace, and for wisdom. As we conclude this journey together, I encourage you to continue on this path. Keep learning, keep practicing, and keep mastering your mind. Remember, the power is always within you. No matter where you are, no matter what challenges you face, you have the ability to find peace, clarity, and joy in every moment. The choice is yours. Thank you for being with us on this journey, for taking the time to explore these teachings, and for being open to the wisdom of Buddhism. You've already begun to change your life. Now, it's up to you to keep going. There are so many views on this channel, but only 0.2% of people subscribe. So please, take a moment to like, comment, share, and subscribe to Wisdom Woven. Your support means the world to us, and we're so grateful to have you on this journey with us. Don't forget to drop down your thoughts in the comments below. We love hearing from you. This is just the beginning. Keep mastering your mind, and the possibilities are endless.